The first thing I'll start with is what's your name and what exactly you do?
I am Mr. Rhodes. I am the technology education or shop teacher here at North Royalton High School.
Okay. What does it take to get into a job like yours?
Well, that's actually an interesting question. Getting into the job just takes a college education, a college degree, just like any other teacher. Now, the good part about my job is there's actually tons of positions open. So this year we actually hired a new person, Mr. Armin Trout. You might see him behind you in the video.
I saw him.
Yeah. We actually put out an interview for people to come and interview for the job. We only got 3 applicants for it, and all 3 of them already had jobs. So it's one of those things where there's tons of positions open, just not enough people to teach it.
Mm-hmm. What kind of background and prep do you need to get into graphic design?
All right, to get into graphic design, again, you need a very, you need a artistic background and a technical background, because it's kind of a combination of the both.
Mm-hmm.
So not only are you doing like art, we're worried about shading and this and that, and you know the aesthetics of it all. You also have to be very technical, because we're using machines and equipment to actually do stuff. So our graphic design class, we make stickers here. We have a big giant plotter. So not only do you have to know that artistic side of making that drawing, you also have to know the technical side of how to lay that out, how to convert that into machine code, how to get that over the machine, how to peel it back, how to transfer it, and all the others.
So there's like a visionary aspect and like mechanical aspect.
Absolutely.
Too. All right. Are there any possible opportunities for this type of career to like branch out on and to expand on?
Oh, absolutely. We always tell the kids this is one class where you could probably just get a $250 machine off eBay and start your own business. So we've had many kids who've gone through and designed out their own stuff and ended up selling it and making quite a good money, kind of supplementing their other income. So this can be t-shirts, this could be stickers on a car, it could be pretty much anything you want. My example, I always tell those people, those silly people you see on the back of vans that have the family on it, that was just somebody with a vinyl cutter, and they made millions of dollars off of stick figures. So cool. It's one of those things where if you got an idea and you got the equipment, you can make money off of it right now. You don't need an education.
Mm-hmm. All right. What would be a job for you, like if someone were to get like an education in it, starting out like if they were to take your shop class, or maybe go to like a college, if they take a college class, what would be like a really good job they could get in the workforce?
That's a good one too. One of my kids actually works for the Cavs right now.
Oh, that's cool.
So he went through the whole program, went over to the CVCC too, and now he's designing those big giant banners they unfurl at the games and stuff like that. So he works for the Cavs, just doing graphic design, all the promotional stuff. So it's one of the great jobs you can get doing this kind of career.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah.
Last question. This is just a generalization in this sort of field of graphic design. What would you think would be a good salary that you'd start out to, let's say, like a salary you'd be making in like 15, 20 years?
Well, I think that kind of depends what you're going with.
Yeah, of course.
If you're just starting off selling stuff, you know, on the side, you could make $20,000, $30,000 a year just doing it on the side. Most graphic designers start off between $30,000 and $40,000, but after a couple years of experience, you should be well over 60 to 70.
Okay, so this is like this is a good range. This is a good range to work.
And it just depends where you specialize in. The more technical you get, the more money you're going to get. The more general, the less you're going to get.
All right, that's it.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Hey,
If we could just start off with your name and what exactly you do, that'd be great.
My name's Mary Shutt, and I work on obituaries. I help families publish them in the newspapers for online, and also I publish them on the internet.
So you write and you manage the pictures and the articles that go into making an obituary in the papers, right?
Right. The obituaries consist of their pictures and the wording of the obituary, and what I do is I put those together, and I have the family members edit them, because ultimately once I submit that to the newspaper, that goes straight to publishing. So ultimately my editor is the family members, because they know what needs to be in that obituary.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my final cut. I put it in the newspaper and it goes to print. I also take that same obituary and I put it online on a web page, so people can go to offer their condolences on a web page, which also links to Facebook, because that's a common and popular way for people to send the obituary to others to share the news of when their funerals are going to be.
Okay, so it sounds like you not only do stuff in the newspaper, but you do stuff online too.
Correct.
Was that something that started? Did you guys started doing recently, or has that always been kind of a thing?
That has been since I've been working here. I've been here about 4 years, and every day it becomes more and more popular that families are wanting to have their obituaries only online and not in print.
Okay.
So it's becoming more popular now that people only are having these on the internet on a specific web page, like, and then shared to Facebook, and that way that's how their news gets spread through. And it's basically the obituary is not just about the person's life and their family, but it's about inviting others to be there.
Mm-hmm.
So I put the picture in, I design it, and I put the picture of the person in the obituary, and I set it up just like they would typeset it, just as it's going to display in the newspaper. And then once it gets published, it'll come out. The final piece will come out in the newspaper.
Okay. But do you write the article with the help of the family, or do you mostly?
Yes, usually when a family comes in, they are very distraught. They come in usually the day after their loved one has passed. So they're not prepared for any of this. It's very sudden, and planning a funeral, they need help from people. So we help them write their obituary. And once I format it and I paste it in, before I send it to paper, I make sure that it says exactly what they want it to say. And the names of the family members had to be spelled correctly, because once the family says, yes, that's right, and I send it to the newspaper, that's pretty much it. I have to get it in by a deadline.
Okay.
Yep.
What kind of background and education or prep did you need to get into this position?
Well, for myself, I have my associate's degree, and I think that that's good because you do need to have some education in writing skills and grammar, and you do have to have computer skills, and you do have to have time management, because you have to make this in by the deadlines. So there's a lot of things that go into having this done. You also need to have compassion when you're working with families, and you have to give them time. So you have to be gentle, and you have to be able to get things done by the deadlines.
Okay. Are there any possibilities or any opportunities that could arise in the future that you foresee in this kind of profession?
I think that it's going to there will always be a need for obituaries, because there will always be, unfortunately, a matter of people who pass away. So when someone you love passes away, that's something that's inevitable, and you have to share that with others, and you have to invite others to their funerals or their memorial services. And I think that you're going to always have a need for something like this.
In terms of graphic design in the media, do you think that any of your skills that you've learned here or practiced here that you could take anywhere else?
Yes, because I've learned how to format, edit, manage my time, and also so much more even after that's done.
What would be a job for you starting out? When you just came out of your education, out of your prep, what would be a job that you would get in this field necessarily? How would you, was this technically your starting job would be good for it? Because it sounds like there's not too much of a requirement for this position, but it sounds like you were pretty sure that what you learn here can be taken up to more prestigious jobs.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, there is room for growth. What you can do is you can move up in your education level, and you can actually take the skills you've learned here and you can move up as far as maybe within your position. You can become a manager of the office. You can be have more responsibilities. So there is room to make growth as far as what kind of positions you hold.
Mm-hmm. And starting out, what would be a good job?
Starting out is basically where I'm at right now. In the office, I guess there could be maybe one person that would be assisting me. So
Mhm.
they would maybe be starting out because it would be more of a part-time basis. But I'm more on a full-time basis. So I guess there might be someone that could be an assistant
Yeah.
and doing this part-time.
Now, how long have you been doing this for?
I've been doing this for about 4 years now.
Okay, so it's not too long.
No.
It's not too long. So it sounds like it's a decent starting job for this. We're starting out. What would be your expected salary to earn starting out towards, let's say, like later down, like the min-max, would you say, for this kind of job?
To start, like between 11 and 12, and then you would grow. Like as you start and you stay, the longer you stay, then you would advance. You would get raises, things like that. So.
Okay. All right. Well, that's all I have.
Okay, well, thanks.
No problem.
Okay.
Thank you.